say your name and tell me where you're from as well.
I am Terrence Ruffin. I'm from Beatrice, Alabama. In high school, I was maybe 100, 110 pounds, you know. I remember the first time before I started football, I tried to bench press the bar, I couldn't do it and left. And once I got into football, I gained a little bit of weight, but my eating was so, low. I only ate 3 times a day. I didn't really gain a lot of weight then. I gained maybe throughout high school, maybe 20 pounds, which isn't a lot, I don't think, 100 to 125 maybe. And so yeah, I was really, really small. I had abs, but most skinny kids do, so yeah. Bodybuilding while I was working, like in the military, it was easier than me doing bodybuilding full time in the start. It was tough for me to remember when to eat and different stuff like that, as opposed to being in the military. Oh, I ate before I went to work, ate 2 hours after during my break, ate at lunch, and 1 time before I left. I did almost 2 Olympias while serving. I did 2016 and 2017. It feels great. I honestly thought I could have been up there a couple times, but obviously the closest I've gotten was 6th. And I know even though I've never been in that top 5, my name was always, spoke about when it came to bodybuilding, It's just great that now I have that actual title to go with me with my, what everyone said I was, So I kind of finally backed up what everyone thought of me. So it was an awesome feeling.
So what personally do you feel like attracts you the most to the sport?
I think the posing, honestly, which is weird because you only do that for 1 minute. I'm doing all this shit for just 60 seconds or 2 minutes on stage time, But I enjoy that. I enjoy creating with bodybuilding, man. Yeah, it's definitely 99% of people do it because they love it, But I like listening to people's stories and why they like to compete. Some people, they want to be the best in the world, and that's totally fine. Some people like to just be better. They want to, it's just like that beating yourself aspect. I think that's probably the better of the two.
So with prepping, you're kind of in an off season now, as your energy level drastically different?
I was never, you can ask a lot of people, I don't ever really get too tired during prep anymore. I noticed the leaner I've stayed, at least that's what John, because I asked him this, the leaner I've stayed, the more, the less tired I get during prep. I still go out and do stuff up until maybe 3 weeks out. Honestly, I didn't feel tired until the last week of the show, which I can say is, I feel like that's pretty awesome, But I guess so, yeah, since then I feel more energized. It's just with the Olympia being so close to the holidays, honestly, it was just really rough, just time-wise. The Olympia really, the Olympia doesn't start on Saturday or Friday. It really starts for the athletes maybe the week before the show, because you got to start packing and planning and getting everything together. You get there on that Wednesday. The next morning you have the meet and greet. Friday's half of the show, Saturday's another half. Then Sunday you have to do, if you did well, you have to do what's it called? The Superstar Seminar.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you got your photo shoots on Saturday. I had photo shoots on Sunday and Monday. And then, obviously your family's coming to see you. And then the Christmas is that Thursday. So, Wednesday, Thursday, you're hanging out with family. Friday as well. And then Saturday, I'm finally trying to get caught back up on work. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm trying to get caught back on work. So it's just a lot going on that whole 2-week period. So right now is the first time I'm caught up on everything. Family's gone. I got some time to myself, and now I'm finally getting a little bit more energy. You definitely need a team, man. Everyone likes to say that they're a lone wolf or they do this alone and do that alone, but they really don't. There's always someone helping you in some aspect. You know, you got your coach, you got your wife, you got your spouse, you got your friends, you got your training partners. Even though they're not on stage with you, it's very rare that I find someone that's actually done something completely on their own. I came to John like at a very bad point after, you know, Matt Porter passed, and I've known John. I met him the first time. I met him when I got my pro card backstage, and we've always been cool. I've always gone in seminars. We've always been, you know, I've trained with him once or twice before, and he picked up the ball and he got me back on track, you know, with everything, and he's like one of the best dudes I know. Same with Joe, man. Both these guys are guys I look up to, like, as you know, as mentors. Like, these guys, they have their businesses, they have a great family life, they're great fathers, they're great husbands, and it's something like I really, really inspire to be when I'm their age. The goal is to improve. I'm only doing the Olympia. I had, before the Olympia, this past year, I had planned on doing maybe the New York Pro or the Arnold to kind of get that title, but now with this second place spot, you know, I'm not crazy. I know there's a lot of great guys and athletes that are behind me that if they improve enough, they could potentially beat me. Anyone's beatable, in my opinion, and I'm not crazy enough to say that none of those guys I've beaten could beat me, because the guy in first place, I beat him at his first show and now he's Mr. Olympia. So I won't make that mistake again to underestimate someone. So I am taking the year off to get better and prepare for the Olympia this upcoming year. And you know, even though I'm taking the year off, I still want to get out there and see fans. So I got my first seminar set up for March 20th in Houston. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I like to travel. I like to meet fans. And even though I'm not competing, I'm still going to make that happen.